Hi, welcome to Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. So today we're going to be making banana blueberry muffins. And I have 3 bananas that need to be made into bread. So anyways, I took 1.5 of those bananas and pre-made some of this because I needed to double my recipe. Anyways, so I have half a banana in a bowl and a whole banana, so I can show you what I'm doing with that. I have some muffins in the oven that I'm going to take out, so let's check them out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set those aside and I'm going to let them cool while we work on making this banana blueberry bread. So I have some blueberries that I have frozen, and I like to mix frozen or halfway frozen blueberries into my bread cupcake batter, because then that way, if you can use fresh if you want to, but usually what happens is the coloring from the berries will kind of bleed or run through your batter a little bit more. So halfway frozen or fully frozen berries makes it so that the dough or the batter doesn't color. Unless you don't care. It doesn't really matter. You're eating it, right? Okay, anyways, preheat your oven to 350. I'm just following a basic banana bread recipe. And I use Crisco to coat my pans. So we're gonna do that first after turning our oven on. And I just use a napkin, and this helps to get your muffins out of your baking dish easily so they don't stick as much. So you just do that with the Crisco. And then I'm going to set that pan aside, and then we are going to start mixing our which one is it? Sorry, hold on. Flour. All right, we're going to start mixing our dry ingredients. I have a little piece of banana from the first batch I made. I'm going to put it in a different bowl for the wet ingredients. So my dry ingredients are 1.5 cups of flour, and you want to mix this in one separate bowl. 1.5 cups of flour, and then I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons. Again, basic banana bread recipe. I kind of like to sprinkle it around even though you mix it up beforehand. So there's that. And then we're going to add in 1/4 of a teaspoon of soda. And then we are going to put some cinnamon in. You can use already powdered cinnamon, or you can use a cinnamon stick and a micro plane grater, and you can just grate it in. This recipe calls for 1/4 of a teaspoon. I'm not going to measure it. You can if you want to. I always tend to use a pinch more cinnamon in my recipes that call for cinnamon, because I like it. You don't have to add more if you don't want to. So this is a microplane. You can just grate that in, tap it off because some of it will build up on the back side. Set that aside, and that will be all of our dry ingredients. I'm going to give that a little bit of a mix here. And you're going to kind of make it like a well, to where you it falls down, but build it up on the sides just a little bit, so that after you mix your wet ingredients, you just pour that right in there. So I'm going to add a banana. So I'll have 1.5 bananas versus the 3 that the recipe calls for. just because I'm adding blueberries. So I added 1.5 less bananas. So there's that. And the banana peel, I'm going to cut up, and I'll show you guys. I need to cut these pieces up, but since I've got the oven on and I'm making these muffins, I cut up this banana peel, and I'm going to stick this in the oven so I can dry these out and stick them in a jar once they're dry, so I can make my banana tea fertilizer for my house plants or my outdoor plants. It's easier for storing. And we're just gonna stick the banana peels in the oven, and let's get back to the recipe. I've got 1.5 bananas in this bowl. Now I'm going to add 1 egg. I'm going to add the sugar. The sugar says 3/4 of a cup, and you're adding all this to the wet mixture. I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of oil. And if you want to, this is optional, you can use lemon zest. Give it kind of a little zesty taste. And again, you can use a micro plane grater. And you can just grate some in there if you want to. All right, set that aside. Now, let's see. Make sure I got all of my stuff in there. You can add walnuts or pecans. Anyways, so you're gonna mash that banana up into smaller pieces in this bowl. Mix the sugar, oil, egg, cinnamon, banana mixture. And make sure you don't have like big chunks of banana, so that way you can evenly distribute it into your muffin tin. And I'm making extra large muffins for my second batch, so I'm not going to quite fill all the trays up. You want to fill the little cup holders on the muffin pan about 3/4 of the way up. That way you'll get a nice size muffin. If you go all the way to the top, you're going to have them overflowing, and you don't want that. Or maybe you do. You get some muffin tops. Anyways, so I have some halfway frozen blueberries. Blueberries are full of antioxidants, which is really good for you. Seems how it's blueberry season. Try and get some put back in your freezer for smoothies, breads. I have a great triple bread berry recipe that I make. What else can you do? Jams and all kinds of stuff. So I have a little over a cup, but they kind of condense down because there's a lot of gaps and spaces in there. Just pour that into your wet batter. You're gonna mix that in. All right, it's all mixed up. If you have any larger pieces of banana, just kind of smash them against the side of the bowl so that they're a little smaller pieces. And now I'm gonna take my bowl with my dry ingredients that I've welled up the sides, so I pushed the sides up of the dry goods, and I'm going to pour the wet ingredients right in the middle. And let me get that scraped, all the good stuff scraped in there. Put that bowl aside. Mix it up. So now it says to cook a 12-pan bacon muffin pan for 15 to 20 minutes on 350 in your oven. This one's extra large one, so I kind of got to watch it because they don't have an exact timing for the larger muffins, but usually about 20-25 minutes, maybe 30, depending on some ovens produce a little less or a little more heat. So you'll just check it at 20 minutes, and if it's still gooey in the middle, You'll leave them in for another 5 or 10 minutes and just check and make sure they're done. So when you're mixing, you want to scrape the sides so that you get all the dry ingredients and everything mixed. Make sure you get the bottom mixed well. So there's that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this kind of spoon, you can use anything you want, to scoop it into my large muffin pan tins. And like I said, I probably won't fill them all because they're bigger. And you're going to fill them 3/4 of the way. And just dollop it in there. Whoop. And you can make a mess too. It's all right. You can still eat it. Looks like I'm gonna get 4. So that's good. That'll be all right. You know, I might be able to squeeze 5 out of there. I'm gonna do it. Should I? Spoon aside. Get that bowl nice and cleaned out. You don't want to waste anything, especially with the prices today. So on my 5th one, it's a little bit lower than the other ones, so I'm just going to take a pinch out. I mean, you don't have to do this because I filled them up a little bit past 3/4 of the way. That's all right. All right, so that's all done and good, and I'm going to stick this one in the oven for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to check them before I pull them out. And how I check my breads and my muffins is I use a metal skewer. It's like a shish kebab skewer. And what you do is, let's see if I can touch this, is you stick it in the middle and you pull it out. Well, let's see if I can show you a good example. Sometimes you get the berries on it. You pull it out, and if it comes out clean, that means that your muffins or bread are fully cooked. So let's pull one of these muffins out, banana blueberry muffins out, and see if we can cut one open. Let's see, get you in there, cut it open. Look at that. There you have it, banana blueberry muffins. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you join me on the next video. Have a beautiful day.